In the cutthroat world of B2B e-commerce, there's one company you should be keeping your eyes on: Shopify. And whatever you do, don't blink, or you might just miss their takeover. Shopify, which has dominated direct-to-consumer e-commerce for the last decade, is now revolutionizing B2B e-commerce. How did this happen? When did it happen? And why should this even matter to you? In this video, we'll explore how this Canadian tech giant rose to the top in a space traditionally ruled by industry titans. From innovative tools to seamless integrations, Shopify is rewriting the B2B e-commerce rules. Once overlooked and underestimated in the arena, Shopify is now surprising everyone with its bold move and rapid success. Stick around because we're going to dive into the strategies, features, integrations, technologies, and success stories that are making Shopify the go-to platform for businesses worldwide. And at the end of this video, we'll address the elephant in the room. Is it worth the investment to transition from a legacy platform to rebuild on Shopify? Let's face it, B2B commerce is pretty much the redheaded stepchild of the commerce game. And if you're a player in the game, you know just how complex it can get. While B2C and D2C methods and systems have evolved and improved along with the internet to form the bulk of e-commerce, B2B has, on the other hand, consistently lagged behind, far behind. E-commerce has technically been around since the early 80s. No, seriously, check it out. But B2B largely feels like it's stuck in those times. It's historically slow to adopt new tech, held back by tons of corporate red tape, and just generally pretty archaic. B2B systems feel like they're run by the old guard of business, the kind of people who still keep track of everything with paper and clipboards. They still use fax machines. If you're one of the people holding the clipboards, we're sorry, but you know it's true. Thankfully, things won't be that way for much longer. B2B is getting an overhaul courtesy of one of the biggest and best names in D2C e-commerce, Shopify. It's the largest e-commerce platform in the world with 4.3 million active stores. It raked in $7 billion in revenue in 2023. And now they're bringing that expertise in slick software to save B2B commerce from dated technology and clipboards and fax machines. And that's not all, because we're coming along for the ride. IWD Agency has teamed up with Shopify to bring the wow factor to wholesale, distributor, and manufacturing companies. It's been long overdue that companies selling business to business realize they too can have that wow factor, and there's no reason to settle for less. With 15 years of experience building B2B solutions for top brands like Intel, Marucci, EvoShield, PayPal, Bobcat, Penn State, and Rolex, we know how to handle all the complexities of B2B, and we're ready to bring it into the modern day with a cutting-edge user experience. With the combined strength of Shopify and IWD Agency, B2B doesn't have to be dull. At least, it doesn't have to be anymore. So how exactly is Shopify dusting off B2B e-commerce and bringing it into the 21st century? Let's find out. Think about the first time you heard about the iPhone. Now, think about the first time you ever actually used one. Apple already had a strong reputation prior to creating the iPhone. So your first reaction was probably, oh, the cool computer company is going to make a cool phone now. That's pretty cool. And yes, it was cool, but as we know now, the iPhone was more than just cool. It fundamentally changed the perception of what a phone should be on a global scale. It also standardized touch interfaces, later established an app store that changed the game again, and more or less continues to be the gold standard for the most important piece of hardware we own and carry with us every day. If your mind wasn't blown the first time you used a touchscreen to type a text message instead of physical buttons with your good old thumbs, then you're either extremely hard to impress or you might have been afraid of change. And we're sorry to tell you this, but that's exactly what we're talking about today. Change. In the same way that Apple changed the world of phones, Shopify is in the process of changing the world of B2B. Luckily, there's no better positioned company to handle that feat. But you don't have to take our word for it. Cue the Forrester Wave. As a world-renowned trusted source for market research, Forrester collects massive amounts of data and tracks key industry trends. When it comes to B2B commerce solutions, Forrester determined that Shopify is a leader in the segment. According to their Wave Report, Shopify has overcome top dog platforms in the B2B arena like Adobe, BigCommerce, and Intershop. But how? Through their substantial R&D muscle and dedication to innovation. And money talks. Shopify reportedly spent $1.7 billion on R&D in 2023 alone, which is more muscle than most people see in their lifetime. Shopify also received top scores in application architecture, workflow, and business process modeling, AI, and their partner ecosystem. It's easy to see where all of those many dollars went to good use. Words and numbers are nice. But what about all of the visual learners among us? For them, we'll move over to the e-commerce analysis and comparison website, Builtwith, where we can also see that Shopify takes a pretty big piece of the pie when it comes to other e-commerce solutions. literally. Of the 100,000 websites with e-commerce functionality being compared in this pie chart, Shopify takes in an inordinate amount of the traffic, exactly 20%, or 1/5 for the fractionally inclined. Of course, this is an illustration of consumer trust and usage of Shopify as a whole, but it also shows how Shopify, more so than Salesforce or any of the other websites being compared, is the platform that has the chops to pull off a revolution. The platform wasn't always in such a favorable position for companies selling B2B, though. I'd even bet that until recently, you didn't even consider Shopify as a viable B2B platform option. You see, Shopify's primary mission from the beginning was to make commerce better for everyone. For a long time, everyone actually meant entrepreneurs and smaller businesses who needed a way to sell to and reach their customers. And it later expanded to include D2C brands that needed digital storefronts. Over time, Shopify blazed a trail in e-commerce by creating Shopify Payments, lending with Shopify Capital, and improving the fulfillment capabilities of their customers with the Shopify Fulfillment Network. These entities have thrived on Shopify for the duration of its existence, thanks to all of these features. But the platform also had some serious limitations that prevented B2B companies from being similarly successful. Namely, it lacked major features that are needed for companies selling B2B. Not to mention the way things were set up wasn't particularly friendly for wholesalers. Don't get us wrong, it was still possible to sell to other businesses, but it was a far cry from the smooth, intuitive experience their D2C customers were getting. For B2Bs, it was only moderately better than their phone calls and paper order sheets, still requiring quite a bit of manual input and workarounds. Fortunately, Shopify's iPhone moment was in the works. Their new mission: expand functionality through strategic acquisition and development. In 2019, they acquired Handshake, an online marketplace designed to help B2B merchants sell wholesale to D2C retailers. In May 2022, they acquired Deliver, an end-to-end fulfillment platform that can be integrated with e-commerce marketplaces and warehouses. This was the largest acquisition Shopify ever made at the time, but it was necessary to improve their fulfillment and logistics woes, which had been plaguing their B2B customers for years. So guys, let's tally up. Fulfillment? Check. Logistics? Check. Wholesale marketplace? Check. Naturally, we can imagine what was next. In June of 2022, B2B on Shopify launched. The initial push to line up the platform's B2B offerings with that of its D2C included much-needed features like company profiles, price lists, B2B checkout, analytics, and more, all things that B2B Shopify users desperately needed. It was impressive for its time, but just like Apple, Shopify has remained committed to the product and its innovation. Since that initial launch, more than 4 dozen B2B-focused features have been rolled out, and the results are telling. Between January and March 2024, B2B sales by Shopify merchants went up 130% compared to the same time frame in 2023. Now that's what we call explosive growth. So what about those headlining B2B features? Shopify now offers complete B2B storefront customization that allows wholesalers to transform their buying experiences while retaining their Shopify's best converting checkout system. And if you're raring and ready to go, you can save the customization for another time while still getting up and running pronto, thanks to Trade, Shopify's B2B optimized theme. With it, all of Shopify's advanced B2B features are good to go right out of the box. This lends to a key Shopify differentiator: their fast time to market. CMS, OMS, ERP, check, check, and check. All of your order and inventory softwares are on deck thanks to seamless integrations. These are made possible through powerful partnerships with Acumatica, Microsoft Dynamics 365, Celigo, and more. Quick bulk ordering streamlines large orders by showing potential buyers a list of all your products and options, either directly on product pages or on separate order forms. Creating workflows and quotes has been simplified thanks to the ability to submit orders for review and then approve them before fulfillment. Their proprietary workflow automation tool, Shopify Flow, now allows business owners to take care of day-to-day business needs with little to no effort, so they can focus on the bigger ticket items. For example, you can use Shopify Flow to reduce fraud by automatically reviewing new orders and accurately determining if they are high risk before capturing payment. This will save you time and money. If you have sales staff, no need to fear. You can now add sales reps as members of your staff and provide them with the necessary permission to access selected customers and place orders. Your sales team will be empowered with the tools they need to focus on what matters most: selling more. You can add an account request form to your storefront with Shopify Forms. This will automatically save buyer information and make it possible for them to make wholesale purchases after you approve their information. Shopify also captures purchase order numbers and keeps them visible across administration, customer accounts, and your personal orders API so you can better keep track of things. Shopify APIs combine with developer tools and your own tech stack to give you complete control over your store and buyer experience. Fine-tune your offerings for specific customers with curated, customer-specific catalogs, as well as conditional rules like minimums and maximums, case packs, and increments. All of these features are helping Shopify win the B2B commerce game, and they're making sure that their customers win alongside them. And I'll share a bit of insider information with you now. As e-commerce consultants, we've noticed a growing trend. More and more companies are now considering Shopify as a top option during platform evaluations. Even some of our existing clients, heavily invested in other platforms, are independently expressing interest in transitioning to Shopify. This simply wasn't the case a year ago. We can confidently say that market perception has shifted. Shopify is now seen as a highly customizable B2B platform that simplifies complex processes with robust B2B functionality. Customizable, simplifying the complex and robust functionality. Let's call these the holy trinity of B2B. Major brands across the spectrum have chosen Shopify to handle their B2B needs, including the likes of bedding and sheet company, Brooklinen, makeup companies Bare Minerals and Laura Mercier, and the mac and cheese and ketchup conglomerate Kraft Heinz. To get a better idea of how Shopify's B2B functionality makes a difference for these companies, let's shine a light on Shopify's Brooklinen case study. But quickly before we jump in, we've noticed that most, if not all, of the early B2B Shopify adopters were existing clients that already used Shopify technology for their D2C brand. It's clear that Shopify used these brands as trusted advisors to build their B2B arsenal, along with market intelligence. Let's get back to Brooklinen. They started in 2014 with one simple goal: helping millennials buy quality bedding online. They accomplished this with features available in Shopify Plus and have since become a shining example of a successful D2C business. While millennials are happy with their easily accessible, high-quality sheets, there was also a separate and arguably much bigger market that could benefit from Brooklinen's products: the hospitality industry. The company began selling bulk orders to hospitality businesses like hotels through traditional B2B operations from the beginning. But it wasn't possible to handle those orders and their D2C orders in the same place. Their B2B business was all handled offline. Ouch. Their sales team had to take those particular orders, you guessed it, over the phone. And this, all while their D2C business was booming smoothly in the same vicinity. Archaic, tragic, a true disappointment. Seeking a way to scale their B2B operations to match D2C, Brooklinen hopped on Shopify's B2B functionality as soon as it was available. They were able to drop their inefficient manual phone ordering system and move to a new, intuitive B2B site that could handle complex orders without breaking a sweat. That includes not needing to pick up a phone or send a "let's all say it together now" fax. Brooklinen's separate B2B exclusive site exists alongside the D2C site in the same admin, making organization dead simple. Even better, the automation features gave the people of Brooklinen more time to spend on building customer relationships. Thanks to Shopify Plus, Brooklinen was able to spend a massive 80% of their time working directly with customers without struggling to keep track of their orders and needs. As a result, the company has experienced significant growth and success. Their annual revenue in e-commerce sales topped $84 million in 2023, and they're on track to do even better in 2024. But that's just the example of one company, and Shopify is just getting started. If you're ready to dive into the exciting world of B2B with Shopify, we can help you stand out from your competitors, elevate your e-commerce brand, and scale your business in no time. Our link is in the description below.